Good evening, and welcome to Bedtime Stories with the Principal. I am yours truly, your host, Principal Clayton. Tonight's story is entitled Emmanuel's Dream. It's the true story of Emmanuel Ofosu Yeboah. This book is the winner of a Schneider Family Book Award. It's written by Laurie and Thompson and Sean Qualls. I want to let you know that this book is tough. Emmanuel had a tough upbringing and some tough experiences. This year at Tacoma Elementary School, we are vowing to be an inclusive school. We're going to be doing some partnering with the Special Olympics team. And this book will help us understand the importance of that. And so to our viewer who recommended this book, thank you. But I want to say to our families tonight that this book is deep. And so be right there with your scholar, snuggle right next to them. And if they have any questions after the story, definitely please be there to have a conversation around this. This book definitely still leans into perseverance, which is our pride component. So it is the P in pride, which is perseverance. R for next month is respect. Then we go into integrity. Then we move into dedication and then into empathy. So let's get ready to read. In Ghana, West Africa, a baby boy was born. Two bright eyes blinked in the light. Two healthy lungs let out a powerful cry. Two tiny fists opened and closed, but only one strong leg kicked. Most people thought he would be useless, or worse, a curse. His father left, never to return, but his mother had faith. Her name was Comfort, and she named her first child Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. As Emmanuel grew, Mama Comfort told him he could have anything, but he would have to go get it for himself. He learned to crawl and hop, to fetch water and climb coconut trees. He even shined shoes to earn money, all while not having one good leg. Emmanuel is persevering. He was faced from birth with a challenge that he didn't cause to himself. But guess what? With Mama's belief in him, he's overcoming some major hurdles and obstacles. Most kids with disabilities couldn't go to school. Still, Emmanuel's mother carried him there until one day she said, "You are too heavy." From then on, Emmanuel hopped to school and back, 2 miles each way, on one leg by himself. At first, nobody would play with him. So Emmanuel saved his money and brought something none of his classmates had, a brand new soccer ball. Oh, I bet they're going to want to play with Emmanuel now. Of course, he would share it if he could play too. Lunging and spinning on crutches his grandmother had found for him, and kicking the ball with his good left foot, Emmanuel earned their respect. Well, they're cheering for him. They like him now. His new friends sometimes used their lunch money to rent bikes. Would Emmanuel be able to join them? His good friend Godwin pushed him fast so he could balance. Over and over again, Emmanuel fell hard. But finally, he rode. Come on, Emmanuel. That makes me happy. When Emmanuel was 13, Mama Comfort got very sick. She could no longer sell vegetables at the market, and Emmanuel's sister and brother were too little to work. He would have to support them. Wanted to think about that right there and pause. Mom is sick. Little brother and sister are both too young to work. And now Emmanuel is faced with another challenge. After challenge. And so let's continue to read to see what really happened to Emmanuel. But before we go on, I want you to pause and think. What do you think is going to happen? Let's see. Against his mother's wishes, Emmanuel snuck out and boarded a midnight train to the bustling city of Accra, 150 miles away, alone. He didn't know it then, but it would be 2 years before he saw his family again. Emmanuel arrived full of hope. There were so many people, but no one would hire him. Shopkeepers and restaurant owners told him to go out and beg like other disabled people did. Emmanuel refused. Finally, a food stand owner offered him a job and a place to live. It's turning around for Emmanuel. When Emmanuel wasn't serving drinks, he kept busy shining shoes. He earned money and sent it home. One morning, when Emmanuel went to buy shoe shining supplies, the shopkeeper thought he was there to beg and scolded him. Insulted, Emmanuel slammed his money down on the counter. The shopkeeper apologized, but Emmanuel would never forget. That's no way to treat a person, y'all. Shopkeeper should be ashamed of himself for judging Emmanuel, but I'm glad Emmanuel kept going after what he needed to be able to do what he had to do. When Mama Comfort grew sicker, Emmanuel went home to be with her. From her bed on Christmas Eve, she told her son, "Be respectful. Take care of your family. Don't ever beg, and don't give up." By the next morning, Emmanuel's beloved mother was dead. He was heartbroken, but he knew her last words had been a gift. He will honor them by showing everyone that being disabled does not mean being unable. Emmanuel, that's some wisdom there. I want to say that part again, especially as we take on ensuring that we are an inclusive school and we partner with our organization. We want to have Mom's words echo with us. Being disabled does not mean being unable. It was a big dream, but Emmanuel had a plan. Emmanuel had a sharp mind, a bold heart, and one strong leg. All he needed was a bike. At first, no one would help him. They thought his plan to bicycle around Ghana was impossible. Then Emmanuel wrote to the Challenged Athletes Foundation all the way in San Diego, California. They sent him a bike, plus a helmet, shorts, socks, and gloves. Emmanuel's all right now. Emmanuel started training for the long ride. He persuaded the king of his region to give him a royal blessing. He went door to door asking for additional support. Finally, he hired a taxi to follow him with drinking water, a camera, and his best friend. Then Emmanuel tied his right leg to the bike's frame, jammed his left foot into a flip-flop attached to the pedal, and rode. Emmanuel pedaled through the bustling city of Accra. He pedaled through the rainforest, over rolling hills, and across wide, muddy rivers. He pedaled past Oldham Forest and Plantain Farm, and through the market city of Kumasi. He pedaled as trucks roared past on the narrow highway, and wild animals stalked his thoughts. He pedaled through vast grassland and into the ancient city of Tamale. He rode up, down, across, and around his country, proudly wearing the colors of its flag on a shirt printed with the word the Pozo, or the disabled person. Along the way, Emmanuel talked to those with physical challenges and those without, to poor farm workers and wealthy landowners, to religious leaders, government officials, and reporters. Right there, we see that Emmanuel didn't discriminate. He talked to all people, and that's what we want to do all the time as well. He wanted everyone to see him and his disability. He wanted everyone to hear him and his message. The farther Emmanuel rode, the more attention he got. Children cheered. Able-bodied adults ran or rode along with him. People with disabilities left their homes and came outside, some for the very first time. The young man, once thought of as cursed, was becoming a national hero. He completed his astounding journey. Good job, Emmanuel. Pedaling south to the sea and back up to Accra, nearly 400 miles in just 10 days. Man, that's a long time. But Emmanuel's success goes even further than that. He proved that one leg is enough to do great things, and one person is enough to change the world. Oh, man. Woo! Deep, sad, but so inspirational. Man, if many of us could be like Emmanuel, to persevere when faced with not one challenge, but multiple, and to continue to keep going and keep the words of Mama Comfort in your heart, that being disabled doesn't make you unable. And Emmanuel leaves us with this quote. He says, "In this world, we are not perfect. We can only do our best." Falcons, in this world, we're not perfect. We can only do our best. And as your principal, I expect absolutely nothing less than that, to always show up and give it your best. Sometimes you might not feel like it, but just like Emmanuel, remember, you can do it. And guess what? If nobody told you, your principal loves you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Have an amazing evening. Persevere until the end, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Good night. Rest up.